Welcome to the Money Mindful podcast, where money mindset and life coach Meaghan Jean Smith, hey, that's me, teaches you how to transform your relationship to money and achieve your life goals so you can live a glorious, magnificent, delicious, awesome life and love being you. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Money Mindful podcast. I'm your host, Meaghan. So glad to be here with you. I am freezing today. I've got my Ugg boots on, standing here at my desk, recording podcasts for you. So I'm going to get a little bit of a quickie out for you. I've got a couple of quick episodes actually this week and next week. I love doing quick episodes for you. I don't know how you feel about it. Tell me, do you love having quick episodes or do you prefer them to be longer? I try to keep them short, just, because we have lives and who wants to be listening to podcasts all day long? You want it to fit in to your trip, right? You want to be able to listen to the whole episode in one car ride. Would you agree? Tell me if you agree or don't agree. Hang out with me. Come and hang out with me on Instagram or write to me in my email. Are you on my email list? If you're not, get on my email list. What's happening? Let's talk. Okay, I'm going to stop going on about that and get into the episode. So this episode is about if you want more wealth and abundance, I'm going to tell you something to not ever say again. Now, words are powerful and they matter, right? What you say matters. And I'm going to talk to you about that and explain why. So in this episode, I want to share with you about why you should never say things like, I can't afford it again. And I'm going to tell you a few other things not to say as well. I want to talk to you about why this is so important. I want to share with you what you can do even if you really don't have the money. And I want to share with you what you should be saying instead. Okay, so when you want something in your life that requires money, do you ever find yourself saying things like, I can't afford it or I don't have enough money? If you do, listen up. Don't say these things. And this is why. You know that saying, we are what we eat? Well, we also are what we think. I've shared this example with you before. You know, when you first became pregnant, suddenly everyone was pregnant. Right? You just saw pregnant people everywhere. Or when you bought your first white car, suddenly everybody has a white car and you're just seeing them everywhere. It's because what we put our attention on is what we create, right? It's not rocket science. It's just how life works because you're telling your brain to look for those things. Right? Suddenly it becomes important to you and you're putting attention on it so you attract that to you. Now, this works the same with the way that we talk. It's like, this is a grim example and I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but I'm going to share it because I think it'll hit home. It's like imagine a little kid who's constantly told that they're stupid or they're ugly. They're going to grow up believing that they're stupid and ugly, right? But imagine that same kid if they're brought up in a loving environment being told all the time like how smart they are and how beautiful they are and what an amazing person they are. That's what they're going to grow up believing because they hear it all the time and then they just think it's the truth. All right? This is the same with how we talk about money. So you might find yourself often saying, I can't afford it. And you probably say that because you've heard your parents say it when you were growing up. Like, no, you can't have that. We can't afford it. Now, the thing is even if you literally don't have the money in your bank account, I don't want you to say, I can't afford it. Because like I just said, what we put our attention on is what we attract into our life. So if we're constantly saying and thinking, I can't afford it, that is the experience that you will create for yourself in your life. Now, Instead, I want you to say, I'm choosing to spend my money on something else. Or you could say, that's just not quite right for me right now. Or that's not aligned for me. Or that's not something that is right for me right now. Right? The reason why I want you to do this is because I don't want you strengthening and practicing the belief that you can't afford something. And same goes for I don't have enough. I don't want you strengthening and practicing that belief I don't have enough, right? Because you are just going to go through life always feeling and believing like you can't afford it or that you don't have enough. Now, I just want to give you an example before we wrap this up. And look at this. This is going to be a short episode. This will be a first for me. Let's see if I can keep it under 10 minutes. Even if it's something, because here's the thing. Sometimes you look at something and you say, I can't afford it. But it's actually, that's total rubbish, right? It's total BS. Like you literally have the money in your bank account to buy it. The truth is you just don't want to spend your money on it. And most of the time, that's the truth for me. Like when I'm out with my kids, I don't say I can't afford it because I am watching my language and I don't want to say things like that. But really, it's just I don't want to spend that money, kids, on that plastic junk for you, right? That's the truth of the matter. However, the truth of the matter might be that you're choosing to pay your electricity bill instead of buying that new outfit for $500, right? Or you're choosing to spend that money on your mortgage, or you're choosing to spend that money on increasing your payments for something or your savings instead of spending it on a holiday, right? Like you actually have the money to go on holiday, but you're choosing to spend your money on something else. Now, I've been in plenty of situations where when I've been choosing to spend my money on my rent and paying my bills, and once I've chosen and I've spent the money on that, there's no money left over after that. Like that's actually factual, because I'm guessing there may be some of you who are listening to this thinking, yeah, but Meaghan, I really can't afford it. There's no money left. But what I want to offer to you is that even if there is no money left, saying I can't afford it does not serve you. Don't say it, right? Because it's so disempowering and it takes the power out of your hands. Whereas if you say instead, look, I'm choosing to prioritize paying my mortgage. I'm choosing to prioritize buying healthy food for my family, right? That puts you in the driver's seat. That puts all the power in your hands, and energetically it's different. You're going to show up differently when you're coming from an empowered place as opposed to coming from a place of I don't have enough, I can't afford it. There's a lot of disempowering language around money. And then it's no surprise when we use disempowering language around money, we feel disempowered around money and it feels out of our control. So I want to encourage you, please don't ever say, I can't afford it again. Please don't ever say, I don't have enough. Because every time you say those words, you're practicing that. And that's becoming more of who you are and becoming part of your belief system. And you don't want to be practicing that. I would much rather you be practicing, I'm choosing to spend my money on this instead. Or that's just not quite right for me right now. Or I'm not choosing to spend my money on that today. Or that's not aligned for me right now. Right? So much more empowering. Words are powerful and they matter, right? Our beliefs, like the way that we see the world, that's formed from our beliefs, and beliefs come from us practicing thoughts over and over and over again until it becomes the truth of our lives. It's the same with money and how you talk about money. So be deliberate about it. Watch yourself. Next time you find yourself saying, I can't afford it, stop and choose instead, I'm choosing to spend my money on this, or I'm choosing to spend my money on something else. All right, you got this. Until I get in your ears again next week, have an amazing week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. Ready to take the next steps? Creating your money and life goals can be super challenging if you don't have a process to follow. Get my free course that will help you get unstuck, clarify your goals, and get you going. For more info, go to meaghanjsmith.au.